Right, so today what we're going to do, as said yesterday, is that we're going to go through the first 3 rules of what we learned last year, really basic rules. Now, the thing that happened last year that I don't want happening this year is that you have to learn the rule, not just how to find the angle. That rule is worth merit to you, all right? It's your reason behind it, and when we're in year 11 and 12 and 13, our reasons behind or our justification for doing things rises us up from an achieve to a merit. So we like to show exactly what that our understanding, all right? So that means you have to write it exactly how I tell you. No making up your own rules. There are absolutely perfect rules that you have to know, okay? So before we start on those angle rules, I want to introduce 2 words. Some of you will have seen them last year. The first one is corresponding, all right? So a corresponding angle is one that takes the total up to 90 degrees. So 2 or 3 corresponding angles total 90 degrees, all right? What's 90 degrees? A right angle, good. So anything that adds to a right angle are corresponding angles. The second one are supplementary angles. All right? I don't know why they chose these words, but they did. I can't think of a reason why it's these particular words, but it's our maths rules. And supplementary angles add to, what do you think? 180. There we go. Don't even need to know, you can guess. So anything on a straight line adds to 180. We know that because it's one of our rules that we're about to introduce. But anything that adds up to 180 is supplementary. Or if they say, what is the supplementary angle to 30? Then you have to go, okay, 30 plus what is 180? It's 150, the answer to that question. Okay? Right. So we should have been introduced to those rules in year 9. We're now moving on to the rules that we definitely were introduced to, whether you were there or not's another thing, of course. The first one, we're going to have about 8 rules, so I'm going to number them. The first one is angles at a point. Who can finish it off for me? Angles at a point add to how much? Angles that go around a point add up to 360, right? It's a circle. Angles at a point add to 360. Now that's an awful lot to write as the reason. So very nicely, we've come up with short ways to write them. So we write angles at a point, we don't write the add to 180. What else could we write instead of add to 180? A supplementary, but we don't. So we'll stick to this one. So what are we looking at here? So we've got a point, and we've got a whole lot of straight lines coming out of it. And we've been told this one is 100 and, trying not to make 85, all right? And this one over here is 100, and we've been asked to find K. What process will we use to find K? K equals, don't want the answer, I want to know how we work it out. We know that they add up to, 180? Well, who wrote that? I did. 360. Why didn't you tell me? Well, you're all too scared because it's not. Okay. Right. So, what do we do to find out K? Molly?
You add 100 and 185
Okay, so we add 180 and 185 and take it away from 360. So 360 minus the total of 100 and 185. So that's 360. And we've got calculators. We don't have to be scared of it. Even though they're big numbers, we're allowed to put it in our calculator. So that's going to be 65, right? You got your calculators out? From there. And here. And here. 60, 75. Come on, you've got the calculators. Check it. Now, the problem here is that every time we find an angle using a reason, we need to write the reason. So after it, I'm going to write angles at a point, add to 360. Even if it doesn't ask me, I'm going to write that because that is my justification for finding that answer, and it might be worth a merit. Usually they will say, give geometrical reasons. This is the geometrical reason, all right? It's big flashy words, but this is called a geometrical reason. So I don't want to see, because they add up to 180. That's a reason. If they want that, then they want you to write the whole reason for it. We're doing 3 today, so that's the first one. You did that for a whole period last year. So this one, anybody guess what it's going to be? You did do these last year, didn't you? Lots and lots, particularly nodding heads. Angles on a straight line, not that there's anything but straight lines, add to how much? 180. Good. Short form of this, angles on STRLINE add to 180. You can write it in full or you can write it in short form. You can't write it any shorter than that. Okay? So we've got a straight line. We've got some angles on it. We want to find K and this side. Okay. This time, what am I going to do? Come on. Nobody can see you. You're allowed to answer. Follow Marlia's pattern then. Good, Christina.
180 take away 53 plus 90 equals.
Right, well done. Okay, so we've got a right angle here. That little box means it's 90 degrees. All right, so we've got 90 and 62. We can add those together and take it away from 180. What else could we do instead of adding them together and taking it away? That's quite a long equation to put in our calculator. We could just go take away the 62 and take away the 90. That would get us to the same place. So that's 90, that is 28 degrees. And the reason, angles on a straight line add to 180 degrees. Ooh. The last one looks like this. Anybody know what its words are? Can anybody remember from last year? You don't remember a lot from last year, do you? You've got to remember this all the way through this term, guys. Vertically. Opposite. Angles. What? What's true about vertically opposite angles? They've got to be equal. Right. Are equal. They're obviously the same if they're between the two same lines. So, the short version, vert, op, angles, equal. Don't even need the word are. So therefore, this one's really easy to find because what's K? Good, 58. K equals 58. And the reason is because it's vert, opposite, angles, equal, done. So those three rules you learnt last year, we're going to just revise them today.